This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Niranjan Abesundara. The Cabinet will again discuss the teachers' and principals' salary anomalies today. Another consignment of AstraZeneca vaccines from Japan will be brought to Sri Lanka on Saturday. The US donates another batch of vaccines to Sri Lanka. 4 draft bills, including the Kotharawa Defence University draft bill, will be debated this week. The Prime Minister opens a special export unit at the Bank of Ceylon. In world news, concerns grow as Delta outbreak spreads in China. Sports, Tokyo Olympics, Puerto Rico wins the first track and field gold. Minister of Education G.L. Peiris said that the cabinet meeting today will discuss the cabinet paper on removing salary anomalies of teachers and principals. Mr. Professor G.L. Peiris submitted the relevant cabinet paper last week. Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa requested to give him 1 week to discuss the matter. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, during a discussion with teachers' trade unions recently, said that it would be discussed at today's cabinet meeting. Japanese Ambassador Akira Sugiyama said that another stock of AstraZeneca vaccine is scheduled to be brought to Sri Lanka on Saturday. The Japanese government has made the donation following a personal request made to the Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga by the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. AstraZeneca vaccine consignment, which was brought to the country last Saturday, was handed over to the President officially this morning, the Presidential Secretary by the Japanese Ambassador. Japan decided to provide 1,456 million vaccine doses to Sri Lanka. Accordingly, Sri Lanka received 720,460 vaccine doses as the first consignment. Given the second dose out of that stock commenced yesterday at 20 centers. The Japanese ambassador, the World Health Organization, and the UNICEF have commended the vaccination that were given within a few hours after receiving the vaccines, the vaccination program, and the President's direct intervention to the program. The U.S. has expressed its willingness to donate another stock of vaccine to Sri Lanka. The U.S. Ambassador Alina Teplitz has informed this to the Speaker Mahinda Abivardhana when she met him in Parliament today. They have discussed several important issues, including bilateral diplomatic activities and economic affairs. Discussion took place on the U.S. investments in the energy sector. The ambassador has expressed the U.S. pleasure on establishing a special parliament committee to change the election system and setting up of a parliament oversight committees. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has opened the special export unit established to coincide with the 82nd anniversary of the Bank of Ceylon. The Prime Minister opened a special unit online from the Temple Trees. It has been established at the Bank of Ceylon Trade Services with unit. Expressing his views on the occasion, Chairman of the Bank of Ceylon, Kanchan Ratnakar, said that they will introduce the Divi Udana loan scheme for small and medium-scale industrialists according to the Vistas or Prosperity Policy Statement. A loan scheme has been introduced to popularize production of organic fertilizer. He said the special export unit will provide financial and other facilities to support the small-scale and large-scale exporters. Defense Secretary General Kamal Gunratne said nothing is impossible for a soldier as he is ready to take up any task ahead of him. Mentioning the senior and veteran officers on the verge of retirement, he said yesterday involvement in some extracurricular subject would enable them to be qualified for suitable outside corporate sector employment. He said they're experienced, knowledgeable, competent, disciplined, and hard-working, and these officers were serving in the most disciplined organization in the country. General Gunratne expressed his remarks while gracing the M2C Military to Corporate Entrepreneurship Batch 2 graduation ceremony as the chief guest at the Waters Edge Hotel, Battaramulla. M2C Military to Corporate Entrepreneurship Capsule Series comprised of corporate-ready Tri-Forces officers who are at the threshold of retirement. Accordingly, 24 senior officers received their parchments from the chief guest on successful completion of the capsule. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
More than 10 million people in the country have received at least one dose of the coronavirus so far, vaccine. 87% of those who are about 30 years have been vaccinated. Vaccination program is taking place today at 270 centers in 19 districts. Second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine is given at 109 centers. Army Commander Chandraselva said that 24-hour vaccination center at Dirtha Oina will function until Wednesday. Another 24-hour vaccination center is operational at the Viharamadevi Park in Colombo. A mobile app self-shield has been introduced to understand one's health situation related to COVID-19. An individual can seek medical treatment without delay by using the application. Health Ministry has introduced the application together with Sri Lanka Health Information Technology Agency and the Commonwealth Centres for Digital Health. That ends local news for now.
The largest bonus declared in the history of the Sri Lankan insurance industry. Sri Lanka Insurance Grand Bonus, an unmatchable bonus of 8.6 billion rupees only for Sri Lanka Insurance life policy holders from the nation's largest insurer. Call 0112 357 357 for more details. Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
4 draft bills, including the Kothalambra Defence University draft bill, will be submitted this week for parliamentary approval. A supplementary estimate to allocate funds for the Health Ministry for the corona-indicated activities is also scheduled to be tabled in Parliament this week. Parliament will meet at 10 a.m. tomorrow under the patronage of the Speaker Mahinda Abhivardhana. It will meet until Friday. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Registrar General Department said copies of birth, death and marriage certificates will be issued online from today. Department said application for relevant certificates can be made using mobile phones and computers, and payments can be made using Visa and MasterCard. The requested copies certificates can be obtained by express mail or at the nearest divisional secretariat. Further information can be obtained from the website www.rgd.gov.lk or by calling on telephone number 0112 889 518. That came to Watchlight onto World News. Concerns grow as Delta outbreak spreads in China. Palestinians await Jerusalem evictions ruling. Beyond Meat boss backs tax on meat consumption. A fresh COVID outbreak in China has spread to more locations, raising concerns in local media over the country's vulnerability to the highly contagious Delta variant. More than 300 cases have been detected within a span of 10 days. Local headlines have been dominated by news on the outbreak, and the country's top respiratory diseases specialist has reportedly expressed grave concern. The government has imposed fresh travel restrictions and is testing millions. An Israeli court has decided the fate of Palestinians facing eviction in East Jerusalem in a case which has become the focus of international attention. The long-awaited hearing concerns 4 of more than 70 families appealing against an order to leave their homes in Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood. Lower courts have ruled the land where they have lived for decades historically belongs to Jewish owners. The founder of the world's biggest plant-based meat firm says the tax on meat could get people to cut their consumption of animal-based products. Meat boss Aidan Moore Brown told media he is in favor of a tax on activities that create adverse side effects for society. He said taxing meat consumption would help emerging markets to invest on plant-based protein instead. Mr. Brown thinks the consumers are already starting to make their choice to eat less meat. Back to the headlines of the world news. Concerns grow as Delta outbreak spreads in China. Palestinians await Jerusalem evictions ruling. Beyond Meat boss backs tax on meat consumption. That was world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Conserving the Kalari River has been given priority under Surakamaganga program. Minister Mahinda Matavira gave the instructions today to the National Committee to the program to take necessary measures. 19,733 places which pollute the entire river system have been identified. It has been found the Kalari River is the most polluted river of the entire system. It is also disclosed that pollutants are added to the Kalari River at 1,374 places in the Colombo and Grampa district. That was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
On to sports news. Jasmine Camacho Quinn won Puerto Rico's first ever Olympic track and field gold as she cruised to victory in the women's 100 meters hurdles at Tokyo 2020. 24-year-old is the only second athlete from the U.S. territory to win the Olympic gold medal, and Monica Puig in the women's tennis singles in 2016. Simone Biles will compete in tomorrow's Bean final, with the American taking up her final chance for the individual medal at the Olympics, where she has withdrawn from 4 other finals. Pre-game favourite, a 4-time Olympic champion, has been suffering from twisties, which gymnasts describe as a kind of mental block. Sifan Hassan recovered from a dramatic fall to win her 1,500 meters heat and keep her pursuit of an unprecedented Olympics treble on track. The Dutch woman is bidding for a medal in that event as well as the 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters in what will be a first. British swimmer Adam Peaty is taking a month-long break from the sport to protect his mental health and recharge before a push for more success in the 2022. Peaty returned his men's 100-meter breaststroke title on the way to 2 gold and silver at Tokyo 2020. A sprinter from Belarus who refused her team's order to fly home early from Olympics is seeking asylum in Poland. Kristina Timeskaya says she was forcibly taken to the airport on Sunday for criticizing coaches. She spent the night in a hotel under protection from Japanese police. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Sri Lankan Airlines introduced buy one and get one free promotional offer for Russian tourists who wish to arrive in Sri Lanka for the winter season. Promotional offer is valid up to 31st October 2021. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
A special unit has been established named BOC Expert Circle to introduce small-scale entrepreneurs to a national level according to government economic policies. Senior Deputy General Secretary Establishment Nihal Surinmal said Bank of Ceylon is leading among those who are prepared to support to earn foreign exchange to the country. That is economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the Sabaragamu and Western provinces and the Nuwara, Kandy, Galle and Mathura districts. Showers will occur at a few places in the Uva province and Ampar district during the evening or night. That was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Back to the headlines of the news. The Cabinet will again discuss the teachers' and principals' salary anomalies today. Another consignment of AstraZeneca vaccines from Japan will be brought to Sri Lanka on Saturday. US donates another batch of vaccines to Sri Lanka. 4 draft bills, including the Kotalau Defence University draft bill, will be debated this week. The Prime Minister opens a special export unit at the Bank of Ceylon. In world news, concerns grow as Delta outbreak spreads in China. Sports, Tokyo Olympics, Puerto Rico wins the first track and field goal. That in the news.